Mexico has the largest population in North America, having more than 21 million people. Mexico is also a key tourist destination for both domestic and international tourists, and the tourism experienced healthy growth over the past 3 years. People go traveling to Mexico for its ancient historical civilization, warm tropical climate, extraordinary natural landscape, and authentic food taste. Within the Latin American area, Mexico had the most international tourists, and these tourists make hospitality a thriving industry in Mexico. In a rank based on travel and tourism competitiveness index such as infrastructure, policy, and enabling conditions, Mexico is the number one, and its performance is continuously improving since 2015. Meanwhile, Mexico is the seventh most tourist visited country worldwide. Mid-scale hotels make up the largest segment in the hospitality industry. Within these hotels, both domestic and international brands have significantly increased over the past decade. Although the international chain exists in the country, the local players are still dominating. The booming hospitality sets the foundation for tourism to grow.
Let's turn to tourism. So we can see more people prefer traveling by plane or car rather than ship. And also, United States is now the most visitors, which are around 8 million every year. In this graph, we can see the number of tourist arrival in Mexico is increasing, and especially between 2014 to 19. Finally, the main purpose of arriving in Mexico is changing from business to vacation. Based on the ranking on most visited countries in the world published by the United Nations World Tourism Organization, Mexico is the sixth in the 2017. The first is because of location. Good location attracts people. It has many Maya ruins, unreal beaches, epic mountains, and volcanoes. Second, food. The food there is very delicious, like tacos and local tequila. The third is because of the affordability. So Mexican pesos is cheap, and $1 is equivalent to nearly 21 pesos, and most of the attractions in Mexico are free for visitors. Fourth is because of establishments. The total number of establishments is approaching to 10,000, and there are many travel agents in Mexico to offer you different kinds of travel packages that can appeal to everyone. The last reason is because recreation in Mexico are abundant. The adventure sports in Mexico are famous, like freshwater cave diving, due to its good geography conditions. The theme park in Mexico also attracts lots of travelers. In this graph, Mexico has 4 parks in the top 10 with highest attendance in Latin America. And also, there is a special festival called the Day of the Dead, which also provide a boost for the country's tourism sector.
As introduced, tourism is one of the dominant industries in Mexico, and there's no doubt about the importance of hotel industry within tourism. The diagram below has illustrated this point. The hotel accommodation occupies 28.1% of tourism GDP in Mexico, which is the largest among all the sectors. Here are some recent data about the hotel industry. In 2021, the total revenue has reached up to 6,000 million, and it is even expected to reach to 9,000 million in 2025. There is also an increased expectation in user penetration. All of this indicate the industry still has a large potential of growth. Mexico has very dynamic landscapes, which vary from desert to mountains and even rainforests. All of this appeal to its North American neighbors. This contributes to the largest number of rooms when compared to Central and South American countries, proving how strong the hotel industry is. However, the industry is also facing challenges despite it has a very good prospect. In 2019, Mexico has experienced a decrease in revenue per available room, which is caused by both increased supply and a decreased demand. It is time for them to think about how to attract new tourists and to increase their average spending.
Aside from tourism in the hotel industry, the food service industry in Mexico, especially the restaurants, is also worth mentioning. There are food service restaurants like Peugeot, casual dining restaurants like Chili's, and fast food chains like McDonald's. Because of the rapid growth of Mexico tourism, food service also gains opportunity and profit. Meanwhile, chain food service in Mexico is experiencing the fastest growth. The companies gain consumers' interest by providing services like discounts or adjusting part of their menu to adapt the local tastes. From 2010 to 2020, Mexico food service industry has expanded its scale. GDP created by the industry increases about 7% per year. But the pandemic in 2020 brought the consumption of food service back to 10 years ago. The pandemic prompted Mexican restaurants to adjust themselves to the new trend. In 2020, Mexican restaurants increased their online activities about 58% than last year. Despite the negative impacts of the pandemic, Mexico's food service industry is regaining its customers by interacting and advertising online.
Travel to Mexico during the COVID-19 pandemic has been significantly reduced. While the Mexican travel industry is still alive, it has taken a significant hit from COVID. The U.S., being the home of the majority of tourists to Mexico, has issued a COVID travel warning to those traveling to Mexico. Various Mexican travel companies, such as the pictured Aeromexico, have filed for bankruptcy. COVID testing sites are common in the still open Mexican hotels and resorts to encourage stays. The tourist industry is still alive in Mexico, with many Americans still choosing it as a travel destination during the pandemic. Being such a high contributor to Mexico's GDP, the tourism industry has been kept afloat through limited tourism, but has been severely restricted. The leftmost graph shows how significant the pandemic's effects on tourism have been. The top center graph shows the drop-off of tourism revenue to Mexico. The bottom center graph shows Mexico's COVID case numbers through the present. The right graph shows the effects of COVID in various areas of the Mexican economy. The Mexican economy, and by extension the Mexican hospitality industry, has taken a huge hit as a result of the pandemic. The increasing unemployment rates extend into the hospitality industry. As evidenced by the chart on the left, the Mexican economy is expected to recover from the pandemic, though the process will no doubt be slow.